Get ready for a show so fresh, we're only just now finding out who the host is. Tonight on About Tonight, State MP for Melbourne Ellen Sandell, bombshell powerhouse Tessa Waters, plus uber geek, in a good way, Ben McKenzie, with your host, Laura Davis.
Hello, welcome to About Tonight. This is Channel 31's late night show with a rotating host. My name's Laura Davis. I'm your host for tonight and very glad to just be hosting a show on Channel 31 where I don't have to eat the food that comedians have cooked and pretend that it's not the most disgusting thing I've ever tasted. That's my favourite thing about tonight. We've got an amazing lineup of guests. We've got Ben McKenzie, we've got Womanz, and we've got Ellen Sandell from the Greens. A little bit about me. I like swimming, I like eating donuts, and I like it when you get a really crisp line in a piece of paper when you fold it. I don't like ghosts. I don't like running. And I don't like coming up with things for my intro. That's basically it. So I wanted to have, at the start of our show, maybe a hot or not section, so some more of my likes and dislikes. I think that New Year's resolutions are very hot at the moment. Mine was to exercise more, which is why I choose swimming, because fundamentally I'm very lazy, and the only reason I exercise is because I don't want to get sick and die. And swimming's the only exercise where if you stop doing it, you die immediately. So that's my resolution at the moment. Hot in the hot column also is the Street Food Festival, which is coming up at Melbourne Showgrounds. I think it's next weekend. A lot of street food is going to be there. I'm going to be performing, and hopefully be performing before I eat all of the street food, but we'll see. Not hot is kale. Kale is not hot. It's been a fad for a little while. I say no longer. Somebody told me the other day that I should cook like a massaged kale salad, where you get the kale and you massage it. And my face literally went into spasm with how hard I was never, ever going to do that. Food trucks. Out. They are not hot anymore because one drove past me the other day. And crying alone, also not hot. So that's our hot or not segment. I also wanted to fill you in with some local Melbourne news. I saw a man fall down the stairs at Spencer Street Station, but he was okay. Big Lou's Cinnamon Donuts have not been in the store for maybe a week and a half now, and I don't know why, and they won't tell me why. There was a pigeon that I saw in Emporium Shopping Centre, and I don't know if it was lost or really, really rich. Also, I was in the chemist the other day, and if you stay in the chemist for long enough in Fitzroy, the radio comes on and it says, "You're listening to Chemist Radio, your secret guilty pleasure." And basically I just don't know how they knew that that was my secret guilty pleasure. So welcome to About Tonight. I'm Laura Davis. We've got an amazing lineup of guests for you tonight. We've got Ben McKenzie, we've got Womanz. Hello and welcome back to About Tonight. I'm Laura Davis. My first guest is Ellen Sandell from the Greens. She's the first Greens senator to be elected in the lower house. She likes bike riding, science, scuba diving. She dislikes tunnels to the airport, climate change, and running for the tram. I don't know if she really doesn't like running for the tram. I just assume nobody does. So please welcome my first guest, Ellen Sandell. Who we have to make sit in a little box, so please come and sit in a much better chair. How are you?
I'm well, how are you?
Good morning. We're pretending it's the night, but it's...
very
so
dark,
we're supposed to look more awake, I guess, than we are, maybe. What have you been doing lately?
Well, I had a couple of weeks off over summer. I went
Nice.
to Tassie, I went hiking, went to the Tarkine, it was beautiful.
What did you hike?
I hiked a place called the Walls of Jerusalem, and it was 18 degrees on the first day, and so I thought, you don't need to bring your beanie or your gloves or anything. Next day, -5.
Whoa, how long did you hike for?
3 days.
-5 with not even a beanie.
Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous.
Oh man, that's
But
no
now
good.
I'm back, and I've got my new office, and it's pretty hectic. Lots of people coming in and asking us to get them out of their parking fines and such things, which we can't do, but we can help them with other things.
So how do you segue from that when they go, please help me with my parking fine?
Well, look, you know, here's the appeal process if you feel like you've been hard done by, but we unfortunately don't have the power to get people out of parking fines.
They should give you some powers.
It would be nice, wouldn't it?
I think so.
So good.
I've been looking up on your website, and you've got a list of amazing outdoorsy hobbies, which I really appreciated. My favourite was scuba diving.
Yes.
You're an avid scuba diver.
I love scuba diving. And
when did you get into it?
I don't know, maybe 10 years ago or so. My boyfriend was really into it at the time. And I think we went on a trip to Thailand or something, and I got my license. And it's beautiful in Thailand. You don't even have to wear a wetsuit. You just wear your bathers. There's all this beautiful stuff
sharks?
to see. Well, and they've got these beautiful sharks in Thailand that are these just little reef sharks, and they're really cute and they're not harmful at all. And so I just thought scuba diving was the best thing ever. And then you come back to Victoria and he's like, let's go scuba diving in the bay. It's freaking freezing and you have to wear this like massive wetsuit with a hood and everything. But I still love it.
That's pretty fun. What's the best thing you've ever seen?
I don't know. I really like the little things, like little seahorses, and the weedy sea dragon is this little seahorse in Victoria that's got all these bits coming off it to try and go like, I'm not a seahorse, I'm a piece of seaweed.
The interesting thing about those is actually that they mate for life. So, you know, they find each other, fall in seahorse, seaweedy love. And then, like, if one of them kind of floats away or dies, the other seahorse never takes another.
That's a terrible, tragic story.
I think it's because they would kind of swim around just going, that seaweed reminds me of Enid.
Yeah. Aww.
Like, they all look the same. It would be very hard to find another seahorse. I think you would just find something that wasn't seaweed and hold on to it forever. Tell me, with scuba diving, have you made a lot of friends scuba diving?
Look, it's a bit hard to make friends underwater.
Exactly.
There's not a lot of communication. You can kind of do the signs like, okay, or help me, I don't have any air left, and things like that. But
when I was a teenager, I didn't have any friends, which is why I'm a stand-up comedian now. So my mother wanted me to start scuba diving to make friends, and I told her that you wouldn't because you would be underwater. So I would like a public notification that you can't make friends while scuba diving.
Well, maybe you could make friends with the weedy sea dragon.
Little mermaid style.
And be your friend for life.
Congratulations on your win in November. I was going to ask, why do you think that the Greens campaign was so markedly successful this election?
It's an interesting question. I think partly because we've got Adam Bant, who's our Greens MP at a federal level in Melbourne, and he's really popular. He's done a lot of great work for the community, both advocating for those bigger issues like action on climate change, but also helping people with day-to-day local issues, like if they've got a housing problem or a visa problem, things like that. So I think that they've seen that the Greens have a track record, and I think they're just sick of the old parties who weren't really offering anything. And neither Labor nor Liberal said anything about the environment. Neither of them really had a plan for public transport.
They probably don't even know what a weedy sea dragon is.
Yeah, that's right. So, and action on climate change, neither of them had a plan. So I think people were a bit sick of those two just being quite similar and not offering a vision, and they saw that the Greens had a better vision.
That's really great. So I'm from Perth, and I've been here maybe 18 months now, and I love it. What do you think makes Melbourne such a livable city? The most livable city, some people have said.
Well, it's not Perth. No, I love Perth. It's lovely, lovely beaches. Probably great weedy sea dragons.
You can go look at whatever you want. Giant sharks, apparently.
Well, the Luxor, maybe. Excellent Luxor. I have to say I'm a bit of a Luxor aficionado. So I've done a bit of a Luxor tour of Melbourne, and I can give you some tips if you need them. And, look, I just think it's got such a good community. Each suburb's got its own little character. People say because it's the cold weather, but people are forced to get into things like the arts or sport or community, and it's just, it's such a lovely community in Melbourne, but, there's things we need to improve as well.
Okay, what do you think that Melbourne needs to improve on?
Well, transport for one.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever been to somewhere like Berlin where the trains go every 2 minutes. You don't even have to look at the timetable. They're always on time. Even places like Bangkok, Tokyo, they've just got world-class public transport networks, and you can just leave your car at home. And we're not really there yet, I think, with Melbourne. It might be better than some places.
Yeah, definitely.
and maybe it's the best in Australia, but if you go to places like Europe or North America where they just have fantastic public transport networks, you really see what you're missing out on.
Yeah, so what do you think needs to change?
Oh, so many things.
Okay.
I mean, we fought against the East-West toll road because we think that that money could go into public transport instead. So we need a few more rail lines, so out to Doncaster in the east where they don't have one. We need more trams, better tram links, particularly east-west across the city. Where
definitely.
There's lots north-south and into the city, but very few across the city. I live in Kensington. It's even hard to get from, say, Kensington to Fitzroy.
Definitely.
Even though it's in the inner city.
Yeah, I'm in Fitzroy, and to get to even Brunswick.
Yeah.
It's an hour walk.
Yeah, and that's the quickest way to get there is to walk, or I ride my bike. So, yeah, I think the transport is definitely one thing we need to improve a lot in Melbourne.
That's pretty good.
And also things like housing. So, if you look at some European cities that are comparable, people do live in apartments, and North America as well, but they're often really good quality apartments. You can have family-sized apartments that are really well insulated and have great windows, things like that. Whereas here, a lot of our apartments are really small, one bedroom, no
and
natural
very
light.
expensive.
Yeah, and still very expensive. And so if we actually want to deal with the housing crisis that we have at the moment, we need to be building apartments that are actually good for people to live in throughout their whole life, even when they're having families, not just for students, for example.
Exactly. And I think too there's some kind of evolutionary issues with living in places that are too small, and a lot of kind of housing commissions and stuff kind of work on trying to fit as many as you can in, but it's actually not a healthy way to live.
It's okay to have high density in some situations, and particularly with, say, the public housing flats, a lot of people, it's good to live close to services, and so you don't want to push people into houses in the outer suburbs, but that housing needs to be good quality, needs to be well maintained, needs to have natural light and insulation. And at the moment, I've been to visit some public housing estates with some of my local residents, and there's rats and cockroaches, and they're not treated very well by the housing department, and it's not all right.
So maybe like a minimum square footage and proper insulation, stuff like that helps a lot.
Right.
We wanted to talk to you while you're here about like community television, because we know that the government at the moment is selling the station that we are currently sitting on. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think community television and also community radio and other kinds of media is so important. And we're seeing at the moment that a lot of our media is owned by people like Rupert Murdoch, and whatever you think of Rupert Murdoch, it's probably not a good idea to have all your media owned by one person with one particular worldview. And so community TV and radio is so important. And we saw last year, before the budget, that there were a lot of threats to community radio. And their sector really got together and advocated very strongly, and those cuts didn't happen in the end. So I think it's really disappointing that the government's looking to sell the TV station, and maybe we need a bit of advocacy that I could help with to try and force their hand.
I think one of the main points to make on it too is that, well, there's two. One is that the station isn't funded by the government, it's just that the station is owned by it, so it's not costing them anything except in what they would make to sell it. And secondly, by pushing it to a digital medium on the internet, kind of disregards the fact that a lot of the communities and demographics best represented on community television don't have access to internet in their homes. So kind of the time that they might spend watching TV, making dinner, is replaced by whatever is on commercial television, and doesn't necessarily represent their voices.
Yeah, and here in Melbourne we're so lucky to have Channel 31, because so many of our comedians or TV presenters and artists got their start here, and so it's not only really great for the people who are consuming it and the people who are represented on the TV, but also as a training ground as well. So it actually provides a lot of different services to people.
Definitely. There's a lot of people working right here. They're really great.
Yeah.
Hi. I asked if you could bring your show and tell in. I thought that might be fun to have a segment. What have you brought for us?
Well, I failed a little bit, I have to say. I wanted to bring my scuba mask because I'm so attached to it, and it's my favourite thing that I own, and I take it everywhere I go travelling. Even if you have to hire all the gear, I always have my own mask. But I remembered that I had actually left it at my parents' place down the coast, and so I didn't bring it, but instead I brought my helmet, which is kind of lame, but I'm also very attached to my helmet. It's got a few scratches on it. I ride everywhere in Melbourne.
Yeah, I read that you ride to Parliament.
I do
now,
ride
which
to
is
Parliament,
great.
and I got boxed in a little bit by the media, which was a bit silly of me. But on the very first day after I was elected, the media said, "Will you be taking a government car?" And I said, "Oh no, I'll be riding my bike to Parliament because I've always
Not if
have."
you want to go east to west.
Yeah, and then so now then it was all over all the papers. So now there's no way I can ever take a government car. I have to ride my bike everywhere, and in these
Can
heels
you take
and
a
this
government
dress.
bike? Is that an
Well,
option?
that's what I wanted to know. I said,
Yeah.
well, maybe I should get free bike servicing or
Yeah, I
something
think
like
so.
that.
If my
Yeah.
tax dollars went towards
I get
bicycle
free
repair,
car
I'd
servicing.
be fine with that.
Yeah. So yes, this is a very handy little thing.
Have you ever come off?
A couple of times, but never too badly.
You had your old buddy.
Yeah, I have my old buddy, and I'm a pretty conservative rider, and I ride in dresses and heels and things, so I don't go too fast.
I just started learning, like, I know physically how to ride a bicycle, but I started riding maybe 6 months ago, and I really recommend avoiding something until you're an adult so you get the full joy of experiencing it when you're conscious. Like, if I'd learned how to do it when I was 6, I wouldn't have been like, oh, I'm riding a bicycle. But as a 26-year-old woman, it's terrifying. It's so much fun. Well, thank you so much, Ellen, for coming in and having a chat with me on About Tonight. Is there anything else you wanted to add or check in on?
Oh, just that people can come to my office anytime.
That's pretty nice. Not complain about parking fines.
Maybe not, but we can help them with other government services and
Exactly.
issues that they have.
Well, thank you so much, Ellen, for coming in. We're going to throw to a break. We've got excellent guests coming up on About Tonight. We've got Ben McKenzie and Womanz. I'm Laura Davis. We'll see you in a bit. Hello, welcome back to About Tonight. I'm Laura Davis. My next guest is Ben McKenzie. He likes Stegosaurus. He likes board games. He likes when the lid of a box goes like shh when you lift it up. He dislikes internet trolls, sexism, and bubble gum stuck to his shoes. So if you wouldn't mind, we'll let him out of his weird little curtain box. Welcome to the stage, Ben McKenzie. Can you come out of your little, come out of your box?
I didn't know when the right time was.
Me
Hello.
neither. It's nice to see you. Please sit in the chair.
This is nice.
And please know it was against my wishes for my guests to be made to stand in a box.
Oh, it was great. I was imagining it was a TARDIS the whole time.
It's
It's bigger on the inside in there.
Is it? I would like that.
In my imagination.
It's got my handbag in it. That's about it.
Is it? Oh, well, that's useful. You could pull a lampshade out of it, like Mary Poppins. Handy.
What have you been doing?
All kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
2 big projects. I've been making a game, and I made a audio series, like a radio serial last year.
What sort of game?
This game is a game you play on bicycles.
Okay.
So it's an exploration game where you ride around the city of Melbourne and you get to solve puzzles and fight monsters. But not really fight monsters.
No.
You pretend to fight monsters.
You'd have to go to King Street for that.
Yes. And that would be dangerous. We don't want people to do dangerous things. But yeah, we've been working hard on that. My company, Pop-Up Playground, and it's exciting. It launches on 2nd of February, so it's...
That's really soon.
Yeah, it's really soon.
Are you worried about anything?
No, I'm not worried about too much. I think the game is good, and I think the people who are going to play it will be sensible.
That's good.
And
Get
have
Ellen
fun.
in on her bike.
Yeah. Oh, well, we should. Yeah. We've made it to work with the blue share bikes in the city.
Yeah.
We made it to work with that. So if you don't have a bike, you can still play.
Of course.
But there's no actual reason why you couldn't just do it on foot or public transport, to be honest, or in a car. But I think that would defeat the purpose.
What about
of it.
on riding some sort of Shetland pony?
Oh, yeah. I want someone to do that. A riding dog, a massive riding dog.
In those carriages that go up and down Swanston Street.
Oh, that would be. You could totally do that. It's like,
It would be expensive.
Please take me to the next location in the game. Okay, all right. I think it would help you get into character.
Okay. Yeah. Can I make a confession, Ben McKenzie?
Please.
I don't like board games.
That's okay.
I don't like them.
Well, that's all right.
I know you do. I know you really like them.
I do.
What's your favourite?
Oh, that's hard. I really like Ticket to Ride is one of my favourites.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a really good...
Is that the name of the bicycle game? Because it should be.
No, no, that's called 1000 Cities.
Okay.
But no, the Ticket to Ride is a board game where you have to build train routes across America. but it's which doesn't sound exciting.
No, especially not if your actual human job was to build train routes. You come and, you're trying to get some escapism and you're just stuck doing it again.
What am I doing with my life? Imagine if there was a board game where you had to host a TV show.
Yeah.
That would be terrible.
So unfun.
Yeah. I like it partly because it's a really good game for people who haven't played a lot of board games. It's very easy to learn. You can pick it up pretty quickly. So that's one of my favorites.
Unlike building actual railroads, which takes some training.
You do need training and expertise, and I think a license. I don't think they just let anybody do it.
I don't think they do. I wasn't lying when I said you like the Stegosaurus. I read on your website that's your favourite dinosaur.
It is.
What's your second favourite dinosaur?
Probably. Well, I like a lot of the classic ones, like the famous dinosaurs.
Aren't they all classics? Aren't all dinosaurs classic?
Technically, they predate the classics because they're from before the Greek era.
Exactly.
But yeah, they
some Renaissance dinosaur.
But there's there's your superstar dinosaurs that all the kids know.
Okay.
Kids who know about dinosaurs know about all the dinosaurs.
Yes.
But one of my favourites is not that well known. I really like Amargasaurus.
What's that?
There's a skeleton of one at Melbourne Museum. But Amargasaurus is a dinosaur that has spines on its back. Like it's got a long neck, like a Brontosaurus or a Diplodocus. But also it's got these spines that go not just along its back, but all the way up its neck to its head. So it's like the first dinosaur to have a mohawk.
I like that.
And first anyone to have a mohawk, who predates everybody else. I really like
I like
that guy.
that a lot.
Yeah.
I think my favourite would maybe be, is it a plesiosaur?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'd like one of them.
I have to do the thing where
Do
I say
the thing.
It's not
This
plesiosaur.
is your time.
It is, but plesiosaur is not a dinosaur.
What is it?
It's a marine reptile.
Prehistoric thing.
Yeah. It's
All right. Then that's my favourite prehistoric thing, and my favourite dinosaur is an Apatosaurus.
Oh, that's a good choice.
All right. I retract my previous dinosaur-related statements.
I'm excited that you use Apatosaurus because I said Brontosaurus.
Yeah, you're not allowed.
And that's it's not technically correct, but
I had a toy one as a kid, and then I had it when they retracted the name and changed it. And his name was Bronte, and it was really hard to change his name to Pat. It just wasn't okay.
That is a tragic story, but what an exciting time to be a dinosaur fan. Really, that would have been amazing.
I said that you dislike Twitter trolls.
Yes.
And online trolls. How are you finding your online battles? I've been following them on Twitter. It's at LabCoatMan, isn't it?
At LabCoatMan, that's right. To be honest, I don't get that many. I get a small number, but I see a lot of my friends getting attacked by them, particularly women, because for some reason trolls are all sexist dicks. I don't know if I can say dicks on the television, but I just did.
We can try.
Twice. Yeah, and I am aware of that. I don't get targeted by them nearly as much, and I say much the same thing as these friends of mine. So I'm very, what do we do about them? I just read an article. There's an organisation that's sort of banded together of people who've been the targets of not just trolls, but actual, people doing real world harm to other people through the internet, like doxing them, which is where you expose somebody's personal details, like their address and phone number on the internet, so that they're easy to find for people who want to harass you.
Yeah. That's not good.
No, it's bad. And it's happened a lot with people speaking out about sexism in video games.
Yes.
Because there are crazy video game players who think women are evil for some reason.
They don't go outside a lot, do they?
The people who do these things, no, I don't believe they do. I don't believe they speak to other human beings a lot. But yeah, there's a group who've banded together of people who've had that happen to them to sort of help other people who are having it happen to them, and that was a really positive story, and they're doing some really great stuff. So.
I find it so strange with this kind of age of digital, immediate digital communication.
Yeah.
Like you just go send and you're in contact with some stranger.
Yeah.
I don't know if everyone deserves to have access to that communication technology.
Yeah, it feels like it's like building a railroad. You should have a license, I think.
You should
some training.
trial the game first, and then you get to progress.
Yeah.
I get a lot of tweets and messages that are just like, "Hey, saw you today on the tram. Nice dress."
That's creepy.
And it's from someone I don't know, and you have to reply, "Thanks. Please don't murder me."
Yeah, please don't follow me around.
Send. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which tram? I'll avoid that tram.
Yeah.
I'll burn my Mikey. I don't care.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I think people, they don't understand that boundary. I think that's celebrity. Like, even if you're only a little bit famous, you've been on stage a few times, people will come up to you and talk to you like they know who you are.
Yeah.
And you're like, I have no idea who you are. Like, this is not personal. It's just that we haven't had a conversation.
Yeah.
You've listened to me talking and now you think you know who I am.
Yeah.
And of course you do know.
And I went past you on a tram.
Yeah.
That's all I did.
Yeah. Like, I didn't know that you were there.
What did you say your second project was again at the start?
So we made a radio, it's like a radio serial. It's an audio comedy series called Night Terrace.
Excellent.
In which Jackie Woodburn, who plays Susan in Neighbours, and myself go on adventures through space and time.
That's so great.
It's a lot of fun, and we're still, the first season is finished. We're hoping to do a couple more, including one later this year.
Is Susan still on Neighbours? Last time I saw she had amnesia.
Yeah, Jackie is lovely, but she's been doing Neighbours for 20 years.
Yeah, and she had amnesia. You got to be gentle with her.
I know, but so many weird things have happened. I don't know if you saw recently they did a web series which was zombies versus neighbours.
Yeah.
And they brought all these, they got actors who'd played characters who died on Neighbours and got them back to be the zombies. And Jackie was in that. And
That's
she also,
so great.
They had a tornado and she had to do an emergency tracheotomy with a pen.
Apparently that actually doesn't work. So yeah, don't try any emergency tracheotomies at home.
Yeah.
That's important. It's important. Is there anything else you'd like to mention before we move on? You don't have to go anywhere. I would love it if you would just stay on that.
I'm very excited because
second chair.
Yeah, I'm excited for our other guests.
Excellent.
No, I think that's it. But
Lovely.
Night Terrace, if you want to know more, nightterrace.com.
So you can check out nightterrace.com, Labcoatman on Twitter. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you after the break. And we'll see you in a bit on About Tonight with Womanz. Hello, welcome back to About Tonight. I'm Laura Davis. I'm sitting here with Ben McKenzie. We're about to welcome our third guest, Womanz. We're very excited. Our third guest, she likes dancing, feeling great and shaking her ass. She dislikes soggy sandwiches, jerks, and feeling sad. So please welcome Womanz. Come out of the box. Come out of the horrible box.
Hello.
Let's have a hug together. It's like,
this is not what I wanted.
This is great.
It was like kind of in my boobs as well.
So Ben, you get demoted slightly
cool.
That's okay.
to second chair.
Oh, nice.
I'm excited about this.
Oh, this is very comfortable.
How are you? Welcome. Thank you for coming on.
I'm great. Hello.
What have you been doing?
I've just been getting ready for the tour. I go on tour on
Where
Friday.
are you going?
I go all over Australia. I go to Perth, I go to Adelaide, and then I go to Brisbane, Melbourne, and then Sydney. So just all over.
That's everywhere.
Yeah.
That's
I'm going to be
everywhere.
really tired.
What are you going to do?
I'm doing my show, which is like an hour kind of a party.
What's
good
it
times.
called?
Womanz.
Self-titled.
Because that's my name. Yeah. It's like the first album kind of thing. And it's just like a really great good time. It's like a party show, and it's all about loving yourself and your body and just feeling great. And I shake my ass a lot because, I mean, why wouldn't you? Do you know what I mean?
If you've got it.
It's like, you're welcome, Australia, you know?
Yeah, well, that's
just
why
quietly.
It's such a wide tour.
Yeah, it's a very wide tour.
So how do you feel on the topic of body image? It's always in the papers and on the website.
It's like hashtag body topics.
Yeah, but it's been for years. Like,
well, bodies have been around a really long time.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's always relevant. In a way, I think that's why it's good. It's a good money ticket for me to go onto that topic, I think, because it's like, well, we'll always have bodies, you know, it's never going to go off topic.
Well, maybe one day we'll just be like those heads in a jar.
Maybe.
But then
we'll have like head jar issues. You know, we're always going to have issues because we're human as well. Be like, oh my God, my ears feel a little bit like bloated today.
Yeah, I think my ears are too close to the jar of just,
you know. Yeah, like someone hasn't chlorinated my water for a while. I feel a little bit cloudy, you know.
Embarrassing. Yeah. So how do you feel on that topic?
Well,
what are your biggest tips for positive body image on your Cosmo article?
Oh yeah.
What are your 5 tips?
It's basically about loving yourself, you know. I think the sexiest thing in life is just being confident and loving yourself, you know. I just think of the most beautiful people I know in life. It's actually got nothing to do with their shape. No. Or even what they wear. I mean, I love fashion. Don't get me wrong. I think fashion is so fun. And
what's your favorite part?
Fashion.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, black and gold is my thing.
It wasn't. What's your favorite body part?
I was like, what's my favorite?
Knee.
Knees.
Knee.
This part is great. I'm really into this part at the moment because when I do that, it becomes elastic.
Yeah.
So it's like versatile. And then it's like a nice, you can feel it if you like. It's like I got a nice little rough feeling.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
But then it's like elastic. So I feel like it's multifaceted.
It's good you stuck around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel very, I'm blessed.
Yeah.
How do you feel on the topic of body image, Ben McKenzie?
Well, you know, it's interestingly, it does affect guys as well more than it used to, but it's still predominantly, you know, a thing that affects women disproportionately. But yeah, it's weird. Everybody's body is different.
Yeah.
Why have an ideal of one?
And yet they
each?
are kind of all the same.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we all have,
if
know,
you step
shoulders.
back far enough,
Yeah, if you zoom out, like
Yeah.
on Google Maps,
if you were aliens,
we all just become like little pins.
aliens coming, but they're all the same.
Yeah.
Got heads and legs.
Oh,
and walk
human
around.
race, do all look the same.
Yeah.
Racist aliens.
Yeah.
It's like
They're
one of
always
everything
coming.
down the middle, two of everything down the outside.
Yeah, sometimes, not always.
Sometimes, yeah, that's right.
You know,
yeah.
some people have one thing on one side,
That's true.
which is
That's
also
true.
fine, you know.
Yeah.
But like I think it's interesting because I think women, like, obviously, you know, women's bodies are everywhere all the time and it's quite,
It makes me
like
mad.
objectified. Yeah, it's quite annoying, you know, because you're like, oh, I just want to like eat a sandwich without boobs
Yeah.
in my face. I love having boobs in my face also, but I want to choose when that happens.
Yeah, I don't want to sit at a tram
know?
stop with two of them around my neck.
Yeah, it's like like a fox fur.
Yeah.
Maybe that'd be a really interesting fashion item, wouldn't it? Like a big pair of tits around your.
You just
knows?
start to feel really nurtured at the tram stop and
I'd be
you're not
like,
sure why.
I just feel really thirsty all of a sudden. We're getting onto a weird topic now, but you know,
It's
that's
circle
okay.
the drain. We'll
good.
fix it. What do you like to do outside of your hectic touring schedule? Like when you're in other
When I'm
cities?
just hanging out,
Yeah.
acting casual. I love dancing. I love that. I love to move. So I do a lot of that.
So you move around?
Yeah, I move around generally, most days. And then, you know, I'm just like a normal person, you know. I'm just like anyone else. You know, I like to have a cup of tea.
Do you want to do a dance?
Can I?
Yeah, of
Well,
course.
do you want me to like, I could like teach you my signature dance move.
Yes, please.
Because, okay, so the signature dance moves basically is it, I think your signature dance move should make the best out of your best feature.
Okay.
So, and that's like
So your
self-defined.
elbow?
Well, that's one of my favorite parts, but my best feature is actually my mid-chakra zone.
Okay.
Like this one, because it's a very powerful part of my body. You also have a great mid-chakra zone.
Okay, I'm doing
How's
very
my
powerful.
chakra?
It's
Or can you
good.
not see
Well,
because of the death?
Yeah, you're squishing. You have an amazing like shoulder area. Your décolletage is amazing.
My décolletage
Your
chakra.
décolletage chakra
Okay.
is incredible. That's why I got the microphone. So basically, my can I stand up? Is it
Yeah,
okay?
please.
Cool. So like my signature dance move is crumping. Do you know
Okay.
what? Do you know what crumping is?
I know what
think
crumpets
so.
are.
Yeah, we know what crumpets. Okay, it's kind of
That's
like
how I got
crumpets
my
in a
mid-chakra.
Yeah, I've been working with some crumpets. I like that. So I'm like crumpets, crumping. Do you know
Yeah.
that's how I build it? So basically, it's like you imagined you're a short person, okay?
I don't have to imagine.
Yeah, in a big boat,
Yep.
and then you just roll the boat.
Whoa.
Ah.
Okay.
Yeah, see? And it's like pow, pow, like that. It's powerful, huh? That's the side angle.
Yeah, make sure they get all of the angles.
That's the back angle. Check it out. Yeah, you're welcome, Australia. I love it. Do you want to try it? It's super easy. Do you want to try it?
Okay,
I'm
alright.
attached to a lot of.
Okay.
I'm attached to a lot of cords.
Okay. Okay.
But
So
we can make it
so
happen.
you bend your knees a little bit.
I
Yeah, I
did
know.
something to mine.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah,
what
it's
it
like
was.
just like I mean,
I
if you're a
think I
short
just
person, you can just be there, and then you put your arms up like that. So we're in the
Like
boat
this.
together, and then we're just rowing back and forth. Let's row the boat.
That?
That's it, and go like pow, pow.
With my chakra.
Yeah, with your chakra.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All we're missing is a beat.
that's it.
Just got the beat in.
It's a beat in the heart, you know.
Alright, I think we're rowing
It's
in
good.
circles.
It's good.
Oh.
So that's like my favorite, like just casual move.
Mine's a high kick.
Oh, I love hiking.
Yeah, I do like that.
Awesome. You have to have a lot of good personal space to do the high kick, though, I think.
What are you going to do when you go to Perth? Because that's where I'm from. I can give you some cool
I don't know. I've never
tourism.
been to Perth before.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
you
excited.
can drive around.
I don't have a car, but I can
Well,
I can
where
walk
are you staying?
in Como.
Well, you can stay in Como.
Is it quite a big place, Perth? It's
Yeah,
quite
it's
spread out,
very
right?
spread out.
I might get a taxi or like a bike
Oh,
ride.
you're a millionaire. We didn't even
yeah,
know.
well, this gold don't come cheap, you know?
You can go to the beach where you're
cool.
staying. It'll be really lovely.
Yeah.
I'll take you there.
So, like, what are Perth audiences like? Are they like totally up to party?
Really lovely. One thing I did notice though is after moving to Melbourne, Melbourne audiences don't heckle. They don't. There's never any. Get your tits out. Perth, a lot.
You get that
a
little
lot.
bit. There's lots of miners in Perth, is what I hear.
Yeah, I really don't know.
There are a lot of men who spend a lot of time in the ground on their own in the dark.
I don't
So it's
know
like,
what
get
it
anything
is.
out of this hole, you know?
Perth does love digging.
Yeah.
He loves digging. He loves it.
You just come in at the airport and there's just people who's going, hey there, welcome to Perth.
Ben, what
And
do
they
you
give
do?
you a shovel.
What do you do in your downtime when you're festivaling?
Well, I do try to play games, actually, because I've got friends from other cities who, when they're in town for the festivals, they like to play board games. We try and get together and play them together
cool.
during the day.
Some downtime.
But
Just
playing,
build some railroads.
well, playing games with other comedians can sometimes get a little competitive.
Really?
So-
Comedians being competitive? That doesn't sound right.
What? Because sometimes we're just trying to make, as well as playing the game, we're trying to make the best joke about the game. And those are jokes you will never use anywhere else. Like, oh, I built this route from like Albuquerque to San Francisco. That's a kaputza. And everyone's like, what does
Am I right,
that
ladies?
mean? I don't know. Yeah.
Look at toot toot. Am I right, ladies? That'd be my joke for the whole game.
you would win.
Yeah.
You would win the railroad
gonna-
game.
I remember that one.
I had to tell you about this board game that I played once. It was really exciting. It was called the Garden Game. And you get like a little piece of wood that's like a garden plot.
Yeah.
And then you get seeds. You have to collect seeds and plant a garden.
Ah.
And then sometimes like a blight will come and ruin your garden.
Wow.
And like
Oh no, you got the blight card.
yeah, sometimes you get like snails and you're like, no, you know, and you have to like get the compost out. It's quite an exciting game.
That sounds so much fun. Well, we're going to wrap up now. So thank you so much
Thank you for having me.
coming
Thanks
and
for-
hanging out.
Thanks for dancing.
We can
It was
have a
great.
little bit more of a chat. Thanks
Yeah.
for teaching us a dance move.
No worries.
So we can follow you on Twitter and everything.
Yeah,
like that.
Twitter and like so I'm all over the social medias, on the Facebooks, on the Twitter, on the Instagrams, all over. So if you just Google Womanz, so it's woman with a Z, okay? Yeah,
Excellent.
I'll be there.
Well,
on
can
the
you
internet.
stick around? We'll stick
totally.
around for our show and tell segment. I've asked our guests to all bring a special item for show and tell. So we'll see you after the break on About Tonight. Hello, you're watching About Tonight and welcome to our show and tell section. I've asked our guests to bring something special, meaningful, and we're going to have a little bit of a chat about it. What have you brought, Womanz?
Oh, I brought, so I do my show is solo, so and I'm going on this big 3-month tour, and I get lonely when I'm on tour, so I brought my tour buddy, which is Gloria Strawberry, and she's a unicorn, and she's pretty special. She kind of gets a little bit antsy sometimes if she doesn't eat. You know, she gets hangry,
Okay.
which is a hassle.
How do you feed her?
Well, she lives on dreams. So backstage, you know, sometimes gets pretty dry. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes I just take her out with me flyering, and then like, you know, we just talk to people about their lives and their dreams, and she's like, dreams. I'm
Yeah.
happy. So she's great. So that's my little tour manager. You know, sometimes we have fights and stuff, and you know, she has to like stay at home. But generally, she's a pretty great, you know, tour buddy.
What's your
Okay.
dream? What would you like for all of your life? What's your dream?
Wow, that's a big
It's
question.
a big question, but you know,
Well,
you've got your
and I
little
don't want to
dream
give her like.
eater.
I mean, I can't give her all my dream. You have to keep a little something for yourself. I'm getting nervous now.
Okay.
What's my dream? Well, I guess I'm just like any normal person. You know, my dream is that I would like to live in the forest in a treehouse, and
Like
have,
any normal person.
like any normal
Or
person,
orangutan.
and have, you know, great egg and cress sandwiches to eat all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm only human.
We all share
You
that
know,
dream.
sometimes exactly.
Yeah.
Unless you're gluten intolerant, and then maybe the sandwich part changes.
What's your dream,
bit.
Ben McKenzie?
It's pretty much that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Egg sandwiches, forest house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
treehouse.
Just with a big table for board games.
Yum, yum, yum. Look, she's eating. She's so, that was great. She makes us sound like a horse. Even she's a
What have
unicorn.
you brought for us, Ben?
Well, you mentioned earlier that I love Stegosaurus,
Yeah,
which
you
is true.
said
and I have a
it's
little,
on your website.
I have a little collection of them at home. And the other day I was in an op shop and as I was buying a Stegosaurus set of bookends that I found in the op shop, the
As
person I
you
was
do.
with spotted this little piece of amazement.
Oh.
Look at that.
Wow.
It's so. This was sitting
disco.
behind the counter.
I don't know how.
How was it still there?
I don't know.
How had it not run off the shelves the moment they put it up?
My two favorite things about it are, first of all, it's so shiny.
Yeah.
I'll do a bit of that. I hope you can
Like,
see
use the
that it's
camera, even
shiny.
be able to pick it up. They're like, someone like, my eyes!
But also, it's grossly inaccurate, which I also
Why is
love.
it inaccurate?
Well, one of the distinctive features of Stegosaurus, the front legs are much, much shorter than their back legs. These ones are shorter, but not enough. And they have a really tiny head. They've famously got a brain the size of a walnut, which seems like a rude thing to point out. But so they have a tiny head, and this guy's head way too big.
Too much
But still, I love it.
proportion.
And it's in the traditional Stegosaurus colours, which are a total guess. We have no idea
Yeah.
what colour they were. But they're traditionally made to look green with red plates.
I would like a Lego Stegosaurus branded as a Legosaurus.
I have a new dream. I have a new
Okay.
dream.
That'd be great.
Lego
Yum, yum,
marketing,
yum,
you're
yum,
very
dessert.
welcome to use that, but I
She's
will
doing that
need
dessert.
I will need a fee.
Yeah, okay.
That's great. I like how disco it is. It's really shiny.
Yeah, it's going to go on the wall in
Disco.
the corridor.
I'm
Stegosaurus.
surprised it wasn't already in some sort of hipster cafe in
Yeah, I know.
Brunswick somewhere.
This was ironically drinking lattes.
Yeah,
you
above
know?
the cold drip.
Or espressos. Please don't call them espressos. It's espresso. Is it? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's the other way around. I can't remember.
The kind of place that would hang this
Anyway.
up probably does cold drip coffee.
Oh,
Well, what I wanted to do.
that's not my dream.
No.
Can I just say that?
Did you also bring a poem?
I did
Ben McKenzie?
because I did write a poem about why I love Stegosaurus so much.
When did you write this?
I wrote it
a couple of days ago?
No, I wrote it last year for
Okay.
my solo show at the comedy festival.
Can we share it?
Yes,
Because my show and tell is a poem as well. I've
wow.
brought in my childhood diary.
Wow.
Really?
And
excited
there's
about that.
there's
I
a
love
poem
that.
in it. So maybe you go first, and then
Okay.
I'll
I'll
bring
How
mine
big
in.
your childhood diary is.
It's pretty
It's
big.
like your childhood diary was a weekly planner. Was it?
No, it's just
No?
it's just
So you
kind
just
of
like to write a lot.
plain
cool.
plain A4.
That's good.
I might just do an
Fine.
excerpt because it's actually quite a long poem.
All right.
Stegosauria, Stegosauridae, Stegosaurus, the genus so nice they named it thrice. The mullet of dinosaurs, business brain in the front, party in the back, 'cause you brought the plates, 'cause it's got plates on its back.
I like
And you spiked the punch, 'cause it's got spikes on its tail. A tail punch full of spikes, death by thagomizer, but only in defense. You're a party animal, you're the raise the roof lizard. It goes on, but I'll stop.
That's so beautiful.
That's
Yeah.
sensational.
I'll do this one other bit. How about this, quickly? The species so great on account of its plates. What are they for, cry the critics? What do? They look badasses, what? Did you ever stop a punk to ask, what is the deal with mohawks? Though you could probably have an important discussion about the cultural appropriation of Native American culture and whether it was ever a concern in the early punk scene when they were supposedly kicking against the pricks, not the oppressed. But I digress. So that's
was
enough.
great.
It goes on for a while, but it's
Mine is a poem that I wrote when I was 10. I submitted it into a poetry competition we had at the school, and the prize was some money. You got to shake a politician's hand, and you got to read your poem at assembly. And I was so sure that I was going to win because I put so much effort and time into it, and I was really good at poetry. And I didn't win. I didn't.
Outraged.
I was really
outraged for junior
really
you.
outraged. So I found the poem, and it's become quite clear why I didn't win. So I'll just share it. If you can, just imagine me at 10 years old in the middle of a semi-rural school, surrounded by eucalyptus and silence of my peers. Just breathe that in. This poem is called Night Fear. Darkness, so thick you can sculpt it into a hideous being as you stare through the blackness, ice wild and unseeing. Fear, it smothers and stifles and squeezes your heart as you struggle against it in the clutch of the dark silence. Protests against darkness screaming inside your head, it presses against you as you drown in your bed, pleading for release of its hold, for the darkness to leave. But the sun is long dawning and there is no reprieve. Broken when you succumb to the dark, when the blackness has won and you regret everything that you've ever done alone. as it crushes your chest while your blood aches and throbs. It fills up your lungs and twists out your weak sobs beaten. No mercy from darkness and no pity from sun. You drown in the darkness when the darkness has won.
Wow.
This is the traditional method of
So I never
appreciation.
won it.
Well, you were robbed. You were
You were
robbed.
robbed, and also like you had some shit going on, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can
Theoretically.
say. Yeah.
Theoretically.
Or like,
I don't
did you just
remember.
love being romantic, like just being romantic in
No, I
that way?
think
Like
I was
I'm going to
very
be a
dramatic.
dark poet on the moors and calling for like someone who's gone.
Well, thank you so much for coming in and having a chat with us. We're going to hand over to next week's host, Becky Lucas. Becky, come out of the box. You've been there
Hi.
for so long.
I'll sit here.
Yeah, sit on
Please
the
do.
Becky Lucas stool.
How you going?
Pretty good. We've had a pretty fun show. We've got Ben McKenzie
Hello.
and Womanz.
Hello.
This is Becky
Hi.
Lucas.
Nice
She's
to see
taking
you.
over
Gloria.
for tomorrow
Gloria
night.
Strawberry.
No one's had this water, so you can totally jump in
cool.
if you wanted it.
It's very important to
We'll
drink
leave
lots
it
of
for
water.
you. We'll leave it for you tomorrow night. What can guests expect from your show tomorrow
Well,
night?
no poetry.
Okay, no
Sorry
poetry. Probably
about
for
that.
the best.
Well, I can't do it. I can do acrostic poems at best. They're good. Okay, so tomorrow I've got an interview with Dave Collins, which was interesting, and I've got a few friends coming in, Greg Larson, Ann Edmonds, got Corey White, celebrity gossip.
Oh,
It's going to be a
celebrity
huge
gossip.
show.
Have you
Yeah.
seen Ann Edmonds' Comedy Festival trailer? I think it's the best trailer
It
I've
is.
ever
I
seen in
cried
my
with
life.
laughter.
Very
I
good.
watch it
Very
every
good.
day, a couple of times a day.
Yeah,
We
it's
can put
amazing.
the Earl up for it.
Yes,
for
it'll be
people on the
great.
website.
It's very good.
Well, thank you so much for coming and having a chat with us. We've had Womanz and Ben McKenzie, and of course